Oh man, I had the opportunity to be in a room with Dave Messenger and I missed it. Oh man.
Long time. How you been, Steve?
I thought it was the power room, Steve.
Huh?
If you want special room assignments, you have to email me and I'll send you my Venmo handle.
Hi, Chuck.
Yeah. How are
Hi.
you?
Good. There's
There's a lovely
on here.
fjord behind you there.
Yes, that's one of my favorite places in Fiordland. Yeah, if everybody can see that.
Good stuff.
Chuck, you had a great session the other day on blockchain technology. That was awesome.
Oh, good. I'm glad you had a good time with that. There's going to be a lot more of those coming. A lot of requests to talk about that subject.
Yeah, I learned a lot, so thank you.
Okay, good. You'll be taking the blockchain masterclass soon.
Love it.
Oh,
Stanton, for me, I don't know how everybody else's breakout was, but Chris and I were right in the middle of like figuring out the key to the world, right? It's like right when the cutoff, it was like the answer to the world is click. We're back in the group. So Chris, I look forward to hearing the true answer to the secrets of the universe next time we talk.
And you're going to make us all wait on that? Like if you got the answers, you can continue the conversation, or it's just got to be private.
I don't know, man. It was so good. Well, I think we were both like really, really excited for this session because I'm super, super impressed with what UST is doing, Vinod and Akhil. You guys are just on the cutting edge. And I have to give a big ups to Diane, because Diane Finkhausen is like, she's the secret sauce that's making it all happen, all connecting all the little dots and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, John, sorry, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I'm so psyched for this session. But before we do that, I think we have to like make sure that anybody that's new gets a chance to do a shout out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're new and you want to introduce yourself, just raise your hand with the Zoom feature and we'll call on you and you can say hi. There you go, Colleen.
Hi, it's great to meet you all. I'm Colleen McDonald. I'm based out of Pennsylvania, but was previously in Perth, WA, and Denver. And I'm with BCG. I lead some of our research on future of work and new talent models and work with some of our bigger enterprise clients on trying to do exactly what a lot of you are doing. So I was thrilled to get connected with John and join you all. And I swear I don't usually wear a raincoat to meetings. I have COVID, but didn't want to miss this. So I'm kind of self-isolating in a very cold basement. I'll look better next time. Great to meet you all.
Great to meet you. Yeah, I hope you recover.
Great to have you here, Colleen. Ian.
For not being on video right now, but pleasure to make the acquaintance of everybody virtually. Obviously, name's Ian O'Connor. I am the enterprise account manager for Upwork and the existing relationship that we have with UST. So, the topic today is obviously very relevant to that and how we've been kind of collaborating with UST and the Center of Excellence built by Diane and Catherine and Akhil to really optimize the on-demand talent ecosystem and where we're at from a talent market perspective. So really thrilled to be here and obviously extremely relevant topic and really appreciate the opportunity.
I don't know if I'm going to get this name right, but I've got Icy Mole up here.
You got that right. Thank you. Yep, my name is Icy Mole Isaac Seth, and I'm a business relationship manager with Driscoll's. This is the first time I'm attending this forum, and I'm not very familiar with what open talent is, and I'm very much looking forward to learn.
Excellent. Well, welcome.
Are you, you said you're with Driscoll's?
Yes, that's right.
Driscoll's Berries?
That's right. Yes.
I know. I love that company. We did a bunch of work in a previous company of mine. Who's the president of the company?
Miles Rita. Oh, yeah. Soren Bond is the president. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole strategic crew to kind of work on some strategic planning. It was such a fun project. I love you guys as a company. You guys do such great work.
Thank you, John.
Cool.
I'll communicate that back to Soren.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ava. Really great to meet all of you. I'm an MBA student at Harvard, so got connected over to this group through a couple of professors, including Chris Stanton, who I see is on this call. I am working on a startup idea around future of work and particularly connecting African tech talent to global labor markets. So really excited to learn from everyone on this call. And if folks, if anybody wants to chat about IT needs or knows people who would want to chat about that, let me know.
Very cool. Great. David No from Turing.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much. I'm David, and I am from Turing. I'm based out of Seattle, Washington. I'm director of marketing here, and just had a really great, interesting conversation on mental health with Karen during the breakout session. And mental health, especially for our developers on our open talent platform, is actually an important issue. And so I really enjoyed my conversation there, and I'm happy to see you and happy to get to know you all.
Great to have you, David. The whole mental health piece, and Karen, you know it as well as anyone. If anyone does have a lot of interest in that area, know that Link, who leads our advocacy group, it's a regular topic of conversation for the group, and we're working to build that out a little bit further. So please feel free to engage with Link directly, or Todd Broas, who's also real active with that group, or Karen as well. There's a variety of people who are tied into that group. So reach out if you know of anyone who has questions, or if you just want to chat with someone to talk about the mental health aspects of the freelance lifestyle. Christina.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm also from BCG. I'm working with Colleen on the future of work stuff at the Bruce Henderson Institute. And I'm really excited to meet you all and learn from you.
Great. Thank you. And Jeannie.
Janine. Yes.
Janine, sorry.
That's okay. I get that all the time. Hi, everyone. This is my second time on a call, but I didn't get to introduce myself last time, so I am doing so now. I'm co-founder of Overflow, which is a platform for independent marketing strategists who are looking for the opportunity to collaborate, to have access to resources that they used to have at big companies that they don't have anymore now that they're independent. And also who are looking for meaningful work and better work. And by that, we define it as work that has social impact. So if anyone has the need for marketing strategists in the area of communications or media or innovation or design, let me know.
Very good. And Sean Fields.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sean Fields here. My second meeting as well, and I didn't introduce myself on the first call either. I am a field service strategist for a company called Field Nation. We are a platform that connects the buyers of field services with the independent freelance providers of that field service. And I think, John, you and Manul just recorded a podcast yesterday. So excited to be here and really look forward to getting to know the group a little bit better.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Man, I'm so impressed with what you guys are doing, and I can't believe that Manul's been doing this since 2004. I mean, it feels like I meet so few old dogs that have been doing it since, for 20 years or so. So we had a great podcast. I think, Brandon, that'll be out next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really amazing. And I'm really, impressed with what you guys have done at Field Nation. So thanks for being on the call and being part of the community. Hey, John, I was thinking about one other thing before we jump in. Chris Stanton's here, and I was thinking about calling on him to give us an update. You're always deep in the data of what's happening in the world, and like I said, you and I did the breakout, but always super fascinating. So, would you mind kind of giving us an update for a couple minutes on what you're working on and what you're thinking about?
Oh, sure, yeah. There's always a lot of pressure to be innovative and novel and new when I get cold called. And now I feel like Ava, who sat in one of my classes this year and might be in my class next year. So I just finished teaching a course called Managing the Future of Work. And now I have had time to reflect on that. And I don't think he's here today, but one of the superstar guests was Balaji in that class. And so there's a lot of excitement about at least from the Harvard community, about new talent models and what that's going to ultimately mean. But at the same time, there's also sort of a lot of angst around what that might mean for traditional careers. And so I'm very excited to engage with different conversations about sort of the mental health aspect, the security aspect, where you might think of alternative ways to get benefits or alternative ways to tap into the social safety net and the like. And so as a result, I think the work that John and others are sort of doing here and the community that we've brought together is going to be quite useful on that front. The other thing that I have on my agenda is sort of a parallel effort to look at platform aggregation in the other segment of sort of the gig economy that we don't necessarily talk about, which is delivery, ride share, and more standardized types of services. And so I have a case that's coming up on a company called Para that is attempting to add liquidity to rideshare drivers, delivery drivers, and the like, so that you can get linked to micro tasks. And the thought experiment would be like you're a DoorDash driver and you show up and the restaurant says that the order is delayed 15 minutes. Can you do something in the interim, like go stock shelves at Safeway in the same shopping center while you're waiting for the delivery, to have a very, very sort of extremely liquid employment option while you're waiting for the thing that you're supposed to be doing on one of the platforms, because platforms don't connect to one another. And so I guess what John hinted at was sort of thinking about an ecosystem where there's much more interaction between platforms to both provide liquidity. And then I think what's exciting here is best practices across platforms. And you can sort of see that this is happening throughout sort of the entirety of the value chain, from the most skilled developers to folks who are doing tasks that look a bit more standardized. And so I'm happy to hear what people are doing in sort of that and other areas. And these calls are always great to sort of link some of these ideas together. Thanks.
That's great, Chris. One other note. So as you were talking, I texted Balaji, and Balaji shot me a screenshot with a meeting he's having right now with Sam at Worksome and Brian Pena, and said that they'll all be over to this call in a few minutes. That's what I love about this group, right? We're all kind of meeting, but not always in synchronicity, but kind of asynchronous little pockets of this wonderfully beautiful community that's really building this thing together. So those guys will be here in a few minutes.
Can I say one other thing, John?
Yeah.
So if nobody has ever been in an HBS classroom, you know that like students talk. And Balaji said that it was the most frustrating experience that he's ever had, because he couldn't wait to get in to correct people. And so he would jump in and chat and talk with people. And so it was a very, very interactive experience. And I should have guessed that was going to be the case, knowing Balaji from these calls where he needs to get a word in edgewise.
I know, man. I love that perspective, because, I came in and did a class when they did, when Mike and Kareem did that case study on Havas. I sat in the back of the room, and, it was kind of horrifying when Mike asked, like, what should Windsor have done in this case? And, a bunch of students essentially take me down for the next 30 minutes on, Windsor was such an idiot there, and he didn't understand the politics, and he could have been way better over there. And it was very humiliating. So, but it was also fun to kind of do the big reveal at the end, and then have a more interactive dialogue. So I'm sure Balaji was quite up for that. Awesome. Hey, John, back to you. Sorry to dominate the conversation.
No way. That's exactly what we look for. And it's fun because there's a lot of neat research coming out. When we look, even as we think about the June class coming up, we've got Deloitte just finished some work on orchestrating workforce ecosystems, and Jeff Schwartz, who many of us have met through these calls. Jeff's going to join us along with Robin Jones, who is the workforce transformation practice lead at Deloitte, to kind of help us get a sense of what they're doing. So it's fun seeing some of this quality research into the space start really kicking in and gaining some more practical pieces. Because when we set out as a group, one of the things that we really put out as a mission was to figure out, how do we get enterprises to really lean into this whole idea of engaging open talent and utilizing the capabilities that are out there in the marketplace. And we're kind of at one of those exciting stages where we've seen the team from Open Assembly out kind of coaching some of the organizations out there to figure out how to do this, how to adapt their business model to really engage and embrace the open talent marketplace and what's available out there. So today we've got Diane, who has been that OA consultant, kind of helping teach an organization, and the folks from UST and Akhil Seth, who is leading that Center of Excellence, on to let us know what they've been doing, how it's working, where they've gone right, where they've gone wrong, what lessons have been learned, and just want to begin, Diane and Akhil, by thanking you for, one, being open-minded and exploring, but then two, being willing to share your story, which is so important as people are trying to innovate and work their way through here. So Diane, off to you.
Yeah, thanks, John. Thanks, John. And thanks, everyone. This is going to be such a great discussion. We have an amazing journey to kind of share with you today. And really, I'm in awe of the work that's being done at UST, and really the vision for what's possible. As we all know, so often you see organizations really kind of leaning into this passion for a better way to work, and a new approach to unlocking value and resource, and that oftentimes will attack from a certain vector, right? Organizations will grab onto open talent, or they'll grab onto open innovation, right? And they'll chase it and kind of build from there. And UST has really embraced the biggest possible vision for the future of work, and are just really systemically kind of working their way through that maturity, and kind of showing the rest of the world how to do it. So it's exciting to be a part of their journey. Dale, I have to say, Akhil he's actually already beat you to the Golden Coffee Mug Award. Akhil started his day today at 4 o'clock because UST has been shortlisted for an award, an industry award, for the work that they're doing with their open talent ecosystem vision. So joining us here today, we've got Akhil Seth, but I'd like to do just throw a couple shout outs to the rest of the team that we've got on the line here. So Catherine has been instrumental in this journey and helping to lead that program, and then Ian, that we all heard from before, has been kind of a master practitioner on the platform side. So this has been a team journey, and we're really only getting started. But Akhil Seth is leading the way. Akhil Seth is joining us here today. He leads the Open Talent Center of Excellence at UST. And it's just, it's kind of an inspiration and a lot of fun just working with him day in and day out to make this happen. So with that, Akhil, over to you.
That's hard to follow on from. Got a lot to live up to there. But so thank you so much, Diane. It's a really kind introduction, and an introduction into what UST is doing as well. I'm going to share my screen, so do let me know if you can see it. Cool. Are we in business?
We're in business.
Awesome. Yeah, no, so I'm really excited to speak with you guys today, just because, it feels like I'm speaking about open talent amongst the legends of open talent here. So really what I'd like to do today with you all and walk you through is who UST is, first of all, what our journey has been, and precisely why open talent and open innovation fits so centrally in our strategy going forward. And we'd love to hear your feedback and your insights and everything, and your thoughts to how this vision shapes up in what you see in the industry as well. So first of all, UST, we started off, born in 1999. We have in Orange County, we now have about 30,000 employees in over 140 clients across the industry verticals that you see there. And really what our bread and butter business is, if I were to describe it in one word, it's getting work done. So our business is getting work done. The way we work with our clients, we partner with them on average for over 13 years on average. And our goals really are to deliver exceptional business outcomes for our clients. And the reason I'm trying to stress that is because it is the outcome and the business outcome for a client that we take on as our core deliverable. So we have this commitment beyond the contract to deliver business for our client. That's this idea of going the extra mile and taking real charge of the outcome. And why that fits so squarely in with Open Talent is because Open Talent is, as we've seen, is just it's perfectly designed for outcome and work, for outcome-based work designs. And so when we saw it, and we'll talk about how it came to our door, but when we saw it, we knew immediately that this is something we have to get our heads around and that the company has to embrace. So here's the leadership at UST that makes it possible. The whole story started with Barry and Manu Gopinath probably having a cup of coffee over Zoom and talking about Open Talent. And then when Manu brought Barry and Open Talent to UST, Vinod was the executive that took this and defined the scope and the vision for what this could achieve. So, and now with Manu and Vinod mobilizing the company in all aspects, we've built some real traction in the company to make Open Talent pervasive. And then Diane's already given a shout out to the people that have made this possible. And Ian, don't worry, your picture's coming a little bit later as well. I often joke that 90% of my job is just introducing Barry, Diane, and Catherine to internal stakeholders at UST. And it really is. I think the last time I introduced Diane to someone, I just said, here's Diane, she's a genius. And then let Diane take it from there. So coming back to like the UST vision and where Open Talent really fits in. Like I said, we want to be experts in delivering work outcomes. And so to enable that, we've got a plethora of, we have a great recruitment engine for bringing talent, because obviously talent is the biggest ingredient in getting work done. So we have a brilliant recruitment engine that does a lot of great things for us there, but they do fall short in the 21st century and well, in the last decade, definitely for sure, seeing how talent dynamics have shifted. Not that I need to explain that to you guys. So where we really see Open Talent fit in is in the capacity and flexibility that it provides for our workforce. When a client gives us a project, or when we bring in a project from a client, we want to be able to deliver that straight away with great precision and great speed. And we want to give the client an incredible experience. And we've seen the biggest barrier in doing that is talent. So putting freelance talent into our workforce and getting our heads and our operations around that infrastructure is instrumental in being able to deliver to our clients at all. And so this is, Ian, I hope you're still on the call. I know you had to drop off halfway through, but hopefully this picture is embarrassing enough. And Ian's still here.
He did have to leave. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's okay. the the main point to be made here is that the partnership, what we've built so far, couldn't have been done without the partnership and without work. They've been a real, given the behemoth size of the organization, it's truly incredible the level of detail and the attention they've given to the ins and outs of working with UST. But with Artworks partnership, we've seen like times to hire of 4 days, which is probably no surprise to you guys, but for UST, that's huge. We've never seen that before in our lives. And so we're seeing, time to hire of 4 days. In 2021, we had 110 hires through Upwork and $2,000 saved. It's really hard to quantify the impact of exactly what this has done, because those 110 hires are really 110 units of work that would have never gotten done otherwise. So I hope I've given you a good picture of how open talent is essential to UST and how we've worked with Upwork to try to bring that into the organization. But what I want to get at is some of the bigger picture learnings that we're trying to enable along the way. So if we look at what blocks most enterprises from engaging with freelance talent, you can see some of the most pervasive reasons on the slide here. And in being able to build out the infrastructure that enables it for UST ourselves, we've got solutions now for a lot of these challenges. And so what we'd really like to do is we'd like to facilitate this ecosystem in as many ways as we can. And we see 3 major ways in which we can facilitate this whole ecosystem. So with our clients, first of all, they give us the work that they need to get done. And we have the infrastructure and the capabilities and the knowledge within our hiring managers and delivery teams to get that work done through the means of the 21st century. The other thing that I find really exciting, actually, is that when we look at a lot of our clients, they've reacted in precisely the wrong way to the talent crisis. We've seen a lot of them, they want to hold on to their talent even tighter. They want more control. They want to see, and it's perfectly natural, right? When you see your talent draining away, you want to grab a hold of it as tightly as you can. But so we really see the need to educate our clients and bring them with us on our open talent journey as well, if we're to facilitate this usage, to facilitate this, to facilitate leveraging freelancers for our clients. And so what we actually found was one of our clients came to us with the problem statement that their talent strategy needs some work. It's not working for them. They're seeing talent bleed away and they can't find a good solution for it. And so we actually built out an open talent playbook for them as well, with Diane's help, Diane and Barry's help. So we built out that open talent playbook for them precisely. So in their environment, understanding their needs and their problems. So now we have that as a playbook to be able to generalize and take to other clients and facilitate that external change management that's also so necessary for us to implement our vision. I should say at this point, if Diane, Vinod, and if any of you want to jump in at any point, feel free to.
Akhil, I'd love to just jump in. I think this is just such an important slide, especially for this community. And I'm sure Vinod would love to jump in here too. Thank you, Vinod, for dialing in. It's crazy late for you right now, but this community, more than anyone else, can appreciate the pain on this page, right? We have all, whether folks are on the supply side or the demand side of this new world of work, we all know the friction that exists in trying to access the open talent economy at scale in a compliant way. And this blueprint, just this single page, shows the heavy lift that UST has undertaken to remove a lot of that friction and create basically a blueprint, an expert operating system, right? That, as Akhil just mentioned, not only works really well for UST, right, is very compelling operating model for UST, but it then is easily just applied to the needs of the UST client base. So it's been done so well that it's just a very kind of reliable and high fidelity package that can be then tuned and contextualized to client needs as well. A lot of power in just this single page that I know this community can appreciate probably more than anyone else. So well done, UST team. Vinod, any thoughts from your perspective?
No, thanks, Diane. I hope you guys can hear me all right. Okay. Yeah, no, I think this slide basically represents the main objections that we anticipated as, what are the 5 bottlenecks or objections that our client-facing teams will give, because doing something like this, an easier approach for us is to come up with a model that says, okay, if we change everything else, if we change the type of demand, if we change the type of relationships, we can do all of this. And that was not a starting point for us. So our starting point was, okay, we have these MSAs that are 5 years, 10 years, 3 years MSAs, which have these provisions. We're not going to get the client to change those provisions. So looking at the kind of contracts we have, looking at the kind of deals we do, looking at the kind of demand we get, how can we implement this model within that framework? So this list here represents all of those objections that we anticipated would come from the business. And we knew that before we take it to the business, we need to have clear answers and solutions for these. So that's how kind of this has evolved. And then as we went through this, and as we started socializing with some of our clients, we realized that this is not just limited to UST, it's basically applicable to any client.
Thank you, Vinod. And just to round it off with the technology challenge of engaging freelancers, we don't want to be having to ship laptops and then having to retrieve them again 2 weeks later when we're leveraging freelance talent. So we have a VDI solution, a very customizable, easily deployable, and easily configurable VDI solution that we can easily, I've said easily a lot there, can connect to freelancers very securely with an enterprise environment. And so this brings us to, this is our overarching vision, is to be the enabler of the ecosystem. So first and foremost, our commitment to our clients is to obviously get their work done. And we have a portfolio of talent options that we leverage to get that work done. And open talent is going to be the centerpiece of that going forward. It is the future of work. And we're going to learn how to understand and navigate that landscape so that our clients don't have to. On top of that, we want to be the definitive networked organization. I believe this is something that you guys at the Open Assembly coined. So being truly boundaryless and being able to leverage solutions and work and talent from literally anywhere across the globe. So we also have plans to bring in open innovation practices in the company, as well as putting together an internal marketplace that brings flexibility to our own otherwise rigid workforce. Thank you.
Akhil, I think we have a question from David.
Akhil and the whole UST team, this is fantastic, and I really appreciate you telling your story here. And you mentioned education or educating your clients or your target audience, and I really identify with that. and because we do a lot of education ourselves. And what I wanted to ask if you ever considered the term freelancer as something that can be, you know, if you're married to the term freelancer, and the reason why is because we make efforts to position our remote digital tech talent as talent. And because, you know, the term freelancer has a lot of baggage and history behind it. And we want to raise the brand of our talent by branding them as digital remote tech talent. And that really does a great service to the person coming in as well, because, you know, assimilation and incorporating remote tech talent into the enterprise is something that's a challenge, right? To make them feel part of the team. Oftentimes contractors or freelancers feel like, and pardon the phrase for lack of a better term, almost like second-class citizens, if you will, that they're not really part of the team. They're just kind of outsiders coming into the team. We're really trying to educate our clients that digital tech talent, whether it be remote, whether it be on-site, whether it be hybrid, are really part of the team. And so we try to tell the story from that perspective. And we give recommendations on best practices on how to incorporate digital tech, remote digital tech talent into your team. So just wondering if that was something that you considered regarding that.
Definitely, and probably something we'd love to consider even more, actually. Like, language, I think, is so important. You're right. Like when you say the word freelancer, that has so many connotations that we then have to undo. And so when it comes to educating clients and our internal stakeholders, like you said, using the right language is extremely important. And I think we should definitely pay more attention to that.
So one challenge, so totally echo your sentiment, David. I think one challenge we face, the balancing act we have to do is there are, so if you remember this slide where I said, what are the objections, right? So when you look at change management, one thing we've realized is the easiest way to handle this is speak the language that our client-facing teams or our clients are familiar with. So we see more sophisticated and more mature clients who are already engaging with open talent platforms using the word open talent, but some of the other folks are more familiar with freelancers. So sometimes we have to give way to the terminology that makes them get the point faster, sooner, and trying, because there's so much of inertia required to get people to change how they design the work, how they think about leveraging talent that is not co-located to you. So that's where we have to do this balancing act, where we use open talent freelancers interchangeably to suit the audience that we're speaking to. But totally agree with the sentiment that you shared, David. It's all talent. I mean, the way we are trying to message it to the organization is, yes, your client might say, and I'm speaking about purely from the context of my clients, the clients who have signed deals with us, how do we fully satisfy their needs? Because there's no better time in leveraging open talent than now, where it's so hard to get full-time hires as well as subcontractors, because they are expensive, they are not unreliable. It takes 2 months in places like India to onboard them. So given all of that, this is the right time to leverage open talent. So we've been working with so that like I said, the more mature clients, we've been able to make them understand what open talent means, and if they are saying, no, I need somebody in Noida or I need somebody in Spain, we're saying, hey, you know what, your need is that you need this project to get done, and because you trust us, let us get the people from wherever they are, but get the project done faster, better, cheaper. And it's a very slow change, because it's all about giving up control on how you typically manage the work. So that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I think as a alliance, people who are stakeholders in the open talent industry, I think it would behoove us to maybe come together and speak the same language and agree on some terms so that when we go to our customers, our messaging is consistent and we can actually build momentum. I know that's a big thing to ask. It's not really easy to do, but when we create a new category, we set the terms of how we define ourselves. And, you know, it's not for one person to decide. It's a whole consortium of thinkers. So people from the solution space, the consulting space, the open talent platform space, you know, academics, we're all here. And I think when we create this category, I would love to engage with you in the dialogue of how do we define ourselves and what it is that we want to identify ourselves. Because if we come out and tell people, here's how you should refer to us, it's a very powerful, united voice. And that's something that I'd be interested in exploring more.
And David, that's a key part. It's in John's book. I saw him lean. We both went to lean into it at the same time. That's where this community began, was the inconsistency of the language that's being used in the marketplace and the importance of putting some definition around it. So encourage people to engage. I know Mark Hanant and the communications team that he and Ashley have been leading have built out an initial glossary that's included in the playbook and intended to be in the book. And we certainly welcome the evolution of that. Because it's not fixed, it's not done for good, but the kind of thing that we certainly need to keep an eye on. I had a question for Vinod and Akhil that I guess intrigues me in how you guys have built this out, in that, you know, I think many organizations begin by saying we've got to figure out how to use open talent inside our organization to get things done. But what I'm getting the sense of is that you guys took it a step further and are starting to see, how does this actually help us expand the business that we can deliver into the marketplace? So can you talk a little bit about how that kind of shift took place of how this goes from just being something to fill more of your internal requirements to how you're delivering new value into your customer base?
I'm going to let Vinod, but yeah, Vinod, do you want to answer that?
Sure. So it was relatively easier for me. So in addition to driving open talent, I'm also responsible for our talent supply chain at UST. So, you know, with all the changes that has happened in the talent market last 2 years and our over dependence on full-time hires and contractors, and the dependability just went down significantly. People are jumping, people are getting 2x offers, and there's a limit to how much we can pay to get these done. So clients were hurting, projects were hurting, and it's not just UST, right? Every company, every competitor of ours, and our clients are also facing the same problem where people are not showing up when they say they'll join the firm. So I could take that problem statement and say, you know what, the opportunity cost of waiting for that next full-time hire to come and paying that exorbitant salary and compensation and not having the guarantee, why don't you try open talent? Because the guarantee that we can give, because of these levers that Akhil has mentioned here, because we solved for that, our guarantee was, you know what, you just have to change a bit and take the leap of faith and identify one area. And I could look at their demand, their problem areas, and like an area where, let's say, a project they've not been able to staff for the last 3 months, as an example. I said, what do you got to lose, right? So what we did was we went to some of these, so we identified the folks who I know. I've been with UST for 17 years. So I know many of those client partners and the senior leaders who are not risk averse, who are ready to take the change, ready to take chance. We identified them, we targeted them, we identified a specific area, a specific client, and we said, why don't you pilot it here? And if it doesn't work, no harm done, because you're anyway waiting for that other person to join. Like in India, as you know, it takes 2 months for somebody to join because of the notice period. In US, it takes anywhere between 2 weeks to 3 weeks. And we said, you can get talent in days and hours. So one client at a time, one client partner, one delivery manager at a time, we showed them how this worked and they saw the benefit. I mean, the resource started the next day. There was no questions of no-shows. So when they started seeing the benefits and when they saw the kind of talent that is available, the quality of the talent that is available, that's what opened their mind. And then, of course, they started spreading the word. The same and a bigger success has been the same. Hiring managers have been coming back to the platform and working with the same talent, engaging with the same talent. I think one of the clients, they've engaged the talent for almost a year. They're on the first phase of the development. So I think the key has been identify those folks who are struggling because they have no other alternative. Identify a successful POC, make it successful, share the success with them, and then they will come back and give you more. So we've successfully leveraged the current external market conditions to our benefit.
Yeah, I would add to John, to Vinod's points, and I know, again, this community can appreciate this. How many years have we been talking about building up that scaffolding so that we can scale, right, the value and the power of these models, right, and these resources. And you can see once again on this page and in Vinod's stories and Akhil's stories, that scaffolding that we've been talking about for years in this community, which has been somewhat elusive, right? It's the language, the lexicon, the secure interface, right? All of those foundational components once in place then makes it a little bit easier to reach out and to extend the client service offering, because we have a foundation that we can with confidence kind of lift and make available to clients. The VDI solution is world-class, and we envision that can be basically the virtual digital infrastructure for the open talent economy. But once you have that, and I'm stealing this term shamelessly from John, I think, who originally coined it, the scaffolding once in place, right, and pressure tested for talent access, then becomes that much more extensible to client value offerings as well. John, does that make sense?
Makes complete sense. And I just, shout out Diane, thank you, and Vinod and Akhil, thank you for taking the time to come in and tell the story. And I think that's one of the things as a community we want to be able to do, is to amplify these stories of good, where people are figuring it out, they're going through their journey, they're learning lessons along the way. And so just a call out to everyone on the call to please come join us if you've got a story to share, if you guys have done something, if one of your clients has done something that you think just really stands out, let us know so we can make sure we tell that story. Balaji, it looks like you got a hand up, which I don't think I've ever seen you put a hand up.
It's 3 minutes left, so I was trying to behave. I don't know what else did you guys have, but I think the quick question to Vinod, Akhil, and Diane and Barry is, what does the future look like? Give us a path for the next 1 to 2 years. What are the challenges that you're looking to and excited to solve?
Vinod and Akhil, that one's over to you.
Yeah, I mean, right now, this year's goal is 10% of all our talent needs will be from open talent. Okay, and next year that number is 25%. And in doing so, my goal is, our goal is to get to a revenue per employee metric that's probably unmatched in the industry. That's the simplest metric that I can think of for us.
Thank you.
We'd also like to be known as the technology service provider that got open talent and managed to harness its capability. I think there'll be, I imagine, some kind of tipping point where we no longer have to struggle with our internal teams to understand open talent, but instead it will just it'll be the default.
And I'd say you have a really unique opportunity as well to attract open talent into the organization. If you figure out how to do this at scale, then we see how many people like to be that employer of choice. If you guys are the destination of choice for a freelancer, where I can go and I can use my skills, I can get work done, I get paid a fair wage, I get to work on some cool projects that help me do things. I don't have to be tied down in a formal employment relationship if that's not what I'm looking for. You have the ability to really attract some talent in a unique way. So we look forward to hearing updates on your story. We'll keep tabs on you and stay in touch, and just want to be respectful of everyone's time. So a big shout out and a thanks to the team from UST for joining us on the call. Encouragement for everyone to let us know if you guys have other stories to tell. get out to the site, join as an individual. If you're not an individual member for your organization, we want to see more and more organizations joining. We've got the directory will be ready to be published before the end of May. So we're excited. Tom Matthews has been leading his way through that. So fun things ahead for the community, and just excited for everyone's engagement and participation. Just a big shout out of thanks.
Yeah, thanks, John. Just one last thing. I just want to say, I reflected today, and Vinod and Akhil, thanks so much for leading that. And Diane, obviously, your great work there. But Diane and Steve and Balaji, man, what a far cry from 3 years ago at the open innovation conference we had at Harvard. And super great to see this whole community come together and really figuring this stuff out together as a community. So love you guys, and look forward to talking in a couple of weeks.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.